welcome everybody to the Weekly Ward, and this is our
Wild
22nd episode, Season 2. I'm Dan Ward. That's Kevin Jones, the father, as Harlan says hi.
Episode is called Technical Difficulties.
Oh, you didn't see this yet?
No, I don't ever watch
God.
back my product because I know it's perfect.
Holy cow. Look at this. This looks kind of cool, too. For those of you that didn't know, we did do a deck of the week yesterday. It was on Brad Nelson's Grixis Death Shadow. Get our little plug in here for the website. Come take a look at us on kerwinsgamestore.com, where we are the best place in sleeves. Just if you didn't know that, we've got sleeves. We also have magic packs, singles, everything from the nuts and bolts of every game that you love to play.
I bought 2 packs of Amaket yesterday.
You did. I knew this was going to come
Great
up.
price. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, Kevin did purchase 6 packs of Amaket, but not from our online store.
No.
So
They would have been cheaper there.
it's a few. It's like a once in a while thing where you actually buy packs.
Yeah.
I had to go home and get packs.
So do you know
spoiler alert.
what the acronym GPOI means?
GPOI.
You probably don't. It's an
Okay.
internet thing.
Okay.
I didn't know about it either. It's GPOY, and it stands for Gratuitous Picture of Yourself.
Gratuitous picture of
So
yourself.
this is a GPOI.
Okay.
It's just you and me. It's gratuitous picture of yourself.
Okay.
It's just an accurate representation of us. Like my girlfriend on her day off, she just put up like a picture of a raccoon like sitting on a bed, just like with its belly out, just like laying there doing nothing.
Just chilling.
It's like GPOI. This is what I look like on my day off. It's funny.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Should I answer this
elaborate.
person?
No, probably not. But thank you, Max Mitchell's in the chat. What's going on? So for those of you that this could be your first show, we just want to let you know we're going to be giving a little rundown, Sports Center, pardon the interruption, on Magic. What's going on? We're going to have a topic at the end where Kevin's going to kind of like think of some stuff that he wants to talk about, which is always interesting, so stay tuned for that. And before that, we're going to go over and down this weekend's events with Three's Company, and then we're going to get everybody ready for GP Las Vegas.
Kung Fu Geek, if you stay for the entire show, at the end, I'll talk about that.
Yeah, there we go.
And I'll talk about MGG, and I'll talk about Vegas, and I'll talk about all the awesome aspects of my life and other things that are not about my life.
Let's talk about MGG. Let's talk about you and me.
Daddy's
Let's talk
dabbing.
about all the... All right. First off, there. I'm
Oh
glad.
God,
Look
that's
at
an
this.
adorable picture.
All right, so we're going back. We're going.
How is it that people that I like just keep winning things? The person I like the most won a tournament too.
Yeah.
Me.
We talked about him. Well.
Me.
Okay. I want to say I didn't see that coming, but I should have seen that coming. So we're going to go over all 3 of them and at least give out the shout-outs. First of all, huge shout-out to Brad. Back-to-back. Pretty remarkable. 2 different formats, 2 different styles of deck.
But that's what we should have came into.
Yeah, we could have. We
That's
could
a Drake
leave
song,
with
right?
like
We're going
back-to-back.
Back to back.
Yeah.
Back to back.
And they're running out of titles. Nelson is the Marvel of Omaha. Like, you are the American Marvel. Like, they could have came up with maybe something a little bit clever.
They
for
could have
the
just
Nets.
put Daddy all over the entire screen.
Yeah.
And they could have saved the clever titles for next time.
I'm just trying to think of, like, another clever title.
The next time I win a GP, I'm just going to make them put Daddy all over the entire wall text. Nothing else.
It should have just said, like, Ulamog runs wild in Omaha or something. Not Marvel, just Ulamog. So, let's give out the shout-outs like we normally do. Why don't you give the rundown here?
We got Brad Nelson, first place with $10,000, and those sweet sleeves that have his name on them.
They're great. I
How
actually
cool
was
is that?
looking at them while he was playing in Baltimore, and I was like, man, I want these sleeves because I always play with dragons anyway.
Yep.
And they look dope.
We got Sam Party, second place, $5,000. So Sam and my brother have a good friend in common, and through this guy, they talk a lot.
Navy J.
Navy J, yeah. And through Navy J,
Shout out Navy J.
Derek heard from Sam. He said, Canadian Snake, black-green. Black-green Delirium, a black-green snake is the deck to play. Like McLaurin's deck. And so that's what Sam played, and he got second place in the Grand Prix.
A lot of people play that deck.
Shout out to him. We got Dylan, and I'm sorry, man, I can't do it. Oanis?
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll go with Oanis. But
I
anyway,
might have got one right. What up, Omar?
Third place, $2,500. I think he was playing Marvel as well. Fourth place, $2,500, Paul Dean.
Master.
On Friday, Paul was talking to me on Facebook, and he said, I think I'm going to play Uvenwald Hydra, but don't tell anybody in case it's really bad. I don't want to get embarrassed. Or something to that effect. He was like, I'm thinking I'm going to play Uvenwald Hydra. It seems good, but I have no idea.
That sounds like something Paul would actually
And I was
say.
telling him to play Oblivion Sower, because I thought that it was better than Uvenwald Hydra, but it's probably Uvenwald Hydra is probably better because it has reach.
Yeah, it just is huge. It's bigger than
Yeah.
that, and it's guaranteed to land.
I just thought that Sower might randomly exile their Ulamog or do something really cool. I don't know. But anyway, shout out to Paul for going back to back. We're going back to back. Anyway, fifth place, Michael Cochran. I don't know him as that. I know him as Hunter Cochran. He's from Long Island.
Okay.
He's a good player. He's actually won a Grand Prix before in Montreal as well, I believe, or Toronto.
Okay.
A limited Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think Toronto.
Pretty good player. He would occasionally test with us when we'd have MGG events where we're testing for a new set down in Long Island. Hunter's a good dude, so shout out to him. Sixth place, Andrew Ziggis. Andrew took the deck off of Jerry's and Major's Patreon.
Yeah.
The Marvel deck that Jerry put up there on the Patreon for the supporters of their show, and top 8 of the GP with it. So shout out to Andrew.
Pretty decent.
Spawning Bed and Nahiri the Harbinger, I think, were his
Spawning Bed is spicy.
Yeah, you just go right up to Ulamog.
Yeah.
I like it. Spawning Bed
And
is
get some energy.
Spawning Bed is a Michael Seagal card.
It definitely is.
Seventh place, $1,500, Tyler Schroeder. I'm slacking. I don't know what Tyler was playing. Shame on me. I think Mardu
I think it was Marvel, actually.
was also Marvel.
Yeah, I think so.
Tyler Schroeder's team of Margate.
Yeah.
Well, congrats to Tyler. And then eighth place was Will Craddock, who is quietly amassed. I think this might be his third GP top 8.
Oh, wow.
Definitely has at least one other GP top 8 and some really solid SCG finishes as well. I think Will is from Oklahoma.
Okay.
Not 100% sure, but
A Sooner.
solid player. And $1,500 for Will. He was playing Teamer Energy, like Glory Bringers, and
Teamer cards.
No Marvels.
Shout out to Matt Tumovich.
Yeah.
We were calling the Teamer cards. He's like, Teamer cards. It's just like, we made a deck on the way back home from Omaha, and we called it Binder Bant. And It's just like reminiscent of like this deck, how
It's a Ted Falsetti deck.
When he won the Classic, he's just like going through his binder and putting Teamer cards together. Found a deck and just throw some Teamer cards in it. And so the thing I like about this deck, I guess like what I want to talk about this deck. And Marvel decks, you know, you brought up the sweet technology that they brought to this tournament with the Uvenwald Hydra. But this deck, you know, I won't spend a ton of time on it, but I do want to say that it's very interesting because whereas this deck masquerades around like game 1, you can just play a normal game where they may think you're on Marvel or not on Marvel. And so there's been games where like I've heard people playing Teamer cards and then people bring in Dispossess. And they're just like, here's my deck. And it's like, you know, you play like turn 2 Long Tusk Cup, turn 3 Rogue Refiner.
Here's my deck.
And then like, you know what I mean? They literally can't get a card. So like, I don't think that's like a huge percentage, especially with this list, because you see cards like Elder Deep Fiend, Channeler Initiate, and Glorybringer, which are the standouts. But if you just go turn 2 like Servant into turn 3 Rogue Refiner, Bristling Hydra, and you just like run them over kind of, like they don't know. And like I could see Bristling Hydra being in a Marvel deck. And especially for inexperienced players, I think that like opens them up.
The next deck I want to build is going to play 4 Channeler Initiate and Archangel Avacyn, so that by the time you flip it, it's a 3/4.
Okay.
I think that would be sweet.
I like Channeler Initiate. I've liked it from
And
when it first
you can
came
take
out.
like any heinous pile of red-green cards, which is basically what this
Combat
is.
that.
There's a random pile of... This is just like red-green aggro. Red-green mid-range. And then you see that they add 3 Elder Deep Fiend, and I'm like, yo, I kind of want to play this deck. Literally, all you have to do is put that card in a deck, and I immediately like it.
Yeah, I feel like if Marvel does get banned, which I don't think it will, especially after this weekend, and we can get into that a little bit later, I think this is like one of the decks that really is going to gain a lot of ground. Because it's just like doing good things at every part of the curve.
You know what I think? I think that the energy mechanic and the energy cards are just all fundamentally broken. And I think that's the problem we have.
That may
What
be
is
true.
one consistent from 4-color Saheeli to Marvel, all the way through, Rogue Refiner, Whirl of Virtuoso, in some cases Servant of the Conduit, Harness Lightning, Attune with Ether.
Do you know? Okay.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Do you know what card they should actually ban, and they wouldn't have to ban Marvel or Ulamog or get anybody irritated?
Harness Lightning,
Nope.
Attune with Ether.
Yes. If they banned Attune with Aether, these decks would lose their energy, they'd lose their fixing, and they'd be way less consistent.
That's true.
And people would still play them. They may figure out other things. But, like, you're losing a turn 1 play that gets you 2 energy, which is just free, basically, because it's there to fix your mana. And now you're forced to play maybe more cards like Evolving Wilds for the decks that aren't playing that, and other ways to fix your mana. And it just hurts. And so, like, I feel like that is something that they should really look at. Because not a lot of other decks are running it. Like, this deck's obviously running it because it's an energy mechanic.
They would just all play Servant. It doesn't even really matter that much.
I think it does.
I think that the card is great, and I think that it's a little unfair that it just adds 2 energy.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably too good.
It was fine for limited, but I don't think they thought about this. And I think, honestly, with Marvel, I think it's just one of those things that they were really close. Like, remember the one card that came out? I don't know the name. It's 8 energy, take an extra turn. The
Godtease Ether.
Godtease Ether. If Marvel was 8 energy, it changes the game, right?
If Marvel's 8 energy and Attune was banned, it might be fair.
I think if you just make one of those things, I think it's fair. Yeah, it does fit into that. It's yeah, you do hurt some of the fair decks, but if you're calling Pummeler a fair deck,
Pummeler is dumb.
Yeah,
I don't ever want that deck to be good. I don't ever want that deck to be good. I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
You know what deck I also hate? Infect. I think that those feelings are completely unrelated. Actually,
Sure.
I don't. But whatever.
All right, so this tournament's pretty much plain Jane. There's a ton of Marvels. Congrats for.
Let's look at Brad's deck list. Let's see
You want
the
to
innovation.
see the Marvel?
I want to see why.
We'll give him his due
I want to see
respect.
why he went back to back.
Do you know due respect what card that is?
Yeah, 1 and a white.
Ooh, he might know it.
Creatures enter the battlefield, tap this turn, draw a card.
All permanents.
All permanents in the tap.
Yeah.
It was bad Splinter Twin hate.
Yeah.
Really bad Splinter Twin hate.
Yeah.
That's why I know what it is.
Yeah. Okay, so we got 2 Chandras. Creatures, we're not messing around. 4 Rogue Refiners, 4 Ulamogs. Whoa. No.
Whirler Virtuosos.
No Whirler Virtuosos. Okay. Sorcery, 4 Attunes. We've got 3 Censors, 3 Dissenter's Deliverance, 4 Glimmer of Genius, 4 Harness Lightning, 1 Negate. I like the Miser's copy. The 8 Artifacts, pretty standard here. 4 Marvel, 4 Puzzle Knot. 23 lands. We have double Shrine. And I like 23 lands. You know, we talked about this last week on how, like, you don't want to miss your land drops. It's really important. So, with having the Uvenwall Hydras, there's 2 here in the sideboard. A 3rd Shrine. Like, Brad was prepared for the mirror, you can say. More than, like, a lot of other decks.
The 23 lands is interesting. I would probably have 1 be a Sheltered Thicket, but that's probably why I was just home hanging out and he was winning the GP. I'm a little greedy. I don't know.
4 Ulamogs is good.
More Spirebuff Canals than Botanical Sanctums is interesting to me. Not really sure. I guess he has less blue requirements, so he has he has no Whirler Virtuosos, so Spirebuff Canal doesn't need to tap for blue and red at the same time.
Sure. I think it's a consideration that he needs more red for Chandra. He needs more red sources because, like, green is important to have, like, your turn 1 attune. But this deck really wants to play Harness Lightning. Like, it's Harness Lightning Censor on turn 2 if they don't have a Puzzle Knot. So I think, like, being able to have the red source and have another red source for turn 6 off the Flamecaller is actually really important.
He's got 1 island, 1 mountain, which is also interesting to me. I generally just play a bunch of basic lands in these decks, as I seem to think that they're good with attune, and, like, sometimes you don't know what's going on and you attune early to cast your spells, and then you need to attune plus play, like, the Censor or Harness Lightning later on.
I think, like, with him having the Cinderglades there, that makes up for the fact that, like, he'll hit the red on 6. He should get to one of those. And also, Aether Hub's kind of, like, you know, something to help that out.
Hey, can you...
But
you can use Aether Hub for mana, but, like, there's less Whirlers, or there's no Whirlers, so, like, you have less energy sometimes.
But you got to pick your battles, though, because if you're running 2 Shrines, you have to make a concession somewhere.
Yeah.
And you can't have, like, another mountain here, because then you have Island, Mountain, second Mountain, double Shrine, 4 Spirebluff Canals. You have 8
mean, there's no
you
gear
have
holds.
9 lands. Yeah, but you have 9 lands that don't produce green mana when you need green mana on turn 1.
Well, what he should do is he should go -1 Spire Bluff, +1 Botanical Sanctum, -1 Cinderglade, +1 Mountain.
Maybe.
That's what I would do.
Sure.
But, again, Brad Nelson's better than me.
Maybe.
One of my...
You both
favorite
won a
Magic
Grand Prix
players.
with the deck in 2 different styles, so,
No, very similar styles. His deck is just... His
no
deck
whirler?
Yeah, but his deck is just post-board what my deck was. Like, kind of, his deck is like pre-boarded for the mirror.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, because we're boarding out whirlers in the mirror.
I think Brad figured out that, like, whereas
There's
searching
no
for
zombies.
lands and gaining 7 life is great, just being right to the point where 4 Ulamogs, I pointed out to the guys that I stayed in the room with this weekend, shout out to all you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great weekend, even though it didn't perform quite well. That one of my biggest mistakes with registering my deck for this Grand Prix was that I played 3 Ulamogs and 3 Descends main, and I should have played 4 Ulamogs and 2 Descends because of how important it is. And I think like he made that decision, and it was the right one. I really love the two mana interaction spells he has too. I mean, Censor, this has been something we've talked about before on the show, and you know what I mean. You mentioned what Majors talked about
Yep.
he doesn't like it, but I think it's just phenomenal.
No, he didn't say he didn't like it. He said he
said
didn't like it in
sides
the
it out.
mirror.
Yeah, but that's what I'm getting to. Like, I think this Censor is just very good, and like this deck is obviously slanted toward Game 1 playing against the mirror. We have like a 1 of negate. We have Dissenter's Deliverance, which is not really for the mirror. It's more for Mardu and not getting ran over. But it's also, is a
very
point
much
to,
for the mirror.
but it deals with the Marvel when they don't hit Ulamog.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. What about the sideboard's pretty standard besides the Uvenwald technology? We got an extra Dispel. Maybe that's a concession.
3
Thinking
Ether Meltdown, which is kind of weird when you also have 3 Dissenter's Deliverance.
and 4 Harness.
And 4 Harness. It's like you have too many answers to
Just
hard to kill.
doesn't want to get ran over.
Yeah, I guess it's good against something like Glorybringer if you expect people to play the Team or Energy deck, or something like Avacyn.
Yeah.
Meltdown is good against those cards.
I like the
I don't know,
Dispels.
just cut Meltdown every time I have the card. I don't understand what it does.
I like it. It's an energy card, too. I
He's
like
got
the Dispels a lot.
Only 1 negate, so there's 2 negates total post board,
Yeah.
and 2 dispels. So
Right.
Brad is just like more about like the Zuvenwald Hydras and Shrines, and like less. But he realized that like people in the mirror kind of just stare at each other until someone gets Ulamog.
Yeah, and Censor's like a pseudo negate.
Well,
It's got a timestamp on it, but
Well, post board Deliverance is like a pseudo negate because people will play Marvel before they have enough energy to use it a lot of the
if
time.
you tap out, yeah, I agree. So if
Yeah.
you're like on turn 3, you play Rogue Refiner and they went first, they're going to try to get it on board.
Even
but it's
turn
dangerous.
6.
It's still dangerous because of you got to expect Brad doesn't have them, but a lot of the Marvel players have some kind of combination between 3 and 5 cards of Manglehorns, Confiscation Coups, Dissenter's Deliverance. Like that's the kind of like the number for that kind of card. And so like I was doing something weird this weekend where for my list, the Bant Marvel deck, I went down to 1 Marvel in the mirror. And I went 4-1 versus the mirror. The plan was great. I went down to 1
Long
Marvel.
Tusk.
No Cubs. I mistakenly didn't have that in my sideboard. I played Tameo and Spellqueller this weekend. But what my plan was I'm going to play a creature-based theory, a creature-based strategy with Tameo being the card that I really want to get because they're prepared for Marvel, right? So I'm going to dead all their cards because I'm cutting all my puzzle knots and I'm down to like 1 or 2 Marvels. And I'm going to wait for them to have to play the Marvel and I can coup it. And I can just be like a control deck. I ulted Tameo 5 times in the Grand Prix. There was a game where I ulted Tameo, played Ulamog, played Ulamog, played Ulamog. Almost lost. Almost lost.
Wait, one more time. It doesn't stop being fun.
Oh my god.
Hey, wait, what did you do?
And I almost lost.
Yeah, but what did you do before?
I cast an Ulamog. And then I cast another Ulamog for free.
Our production manager is cracking up. I'm so
free.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh,
Worst
God.
game ever. It was awesome. And I was doing it. Like, when you ult Tameo, your opponent, like, picks the card up when you play it, first off, because it's been that long since Tameo's, like, actually been played. And I'm just like, how good is this? Tameo, I'll tick up on my Rogue Refiner, tick up on your only creature, and then pass.
Yeah.
And, like, 2 turns later, they're looking at you, and you're just like, your hands spell quellers, negates, sensors, and they can't really tap out to do anything. And they're just sitting here like, well, I either like jam into open mana, which is obviously not going to resolve spells,
Yeah.
or I let you ultimate Tameo. And just like both things happened, and it was great. It was great.
So, Searsist, I think Cutting Whirler is just a velocity consideration. You realize that the mirror is about seeing a lot of cards, it's about getting a lot of lands in play, it's about casting Ulamog, it's about marveling into Ulamog, it's about being able to parry against your opponent's first Marvel activation so that the first person to have Marvel into play can get punished for being overly aggressive.
Sure.
And all these things are facilitated by Cutting Whirlers for Deliverance and just increasing the velocity of your deck and making you like a well-oiled machine that plows through and just finds Marvel. You know what Brad did? I watched him play a few matches this week, and you know what he did?
What did he do?
He just cast Glimmer, looked for Marvel, and just played Marvel, and that was his entire plan. His entire plan every turn was spin Marvel if I have it, and if not, get the energy to spin it again.
That's great.
He did this, and he was smart about it too. He activated Marvel at instant speed. He activated it when he needed it to. If no one did anything, he would activate it end of turn, whatever, just so that sensor was never dead.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Yeah,
and
it's
he just
great.
hit Ulamog a lot.
Yeah.
And just bodied people.
Yeah. He played the way the deck's supposed to be played. All right, well, congratulations again, Brad. Back to back. Back to back.
We're going back to back.
And we're going to move all the way to Manila.
I like this guy.
Do
It's
you?
cool. I like his haircut, and his name is cool.
Okay, Cholo. All right, so give him the rundown.
We got first place, $10,000. The rundown. We should make a graphic for the rundown.
The rundown with the rock.
Where we run through the back of the room.
With
Or
rock?
yeah, just like a little Running Man graphic. Yeah, it's just like interesting, but first place, $10,000. Ryochi Tamada. Second
Master.
place, $5,000. Ki Wentao. Fun fact, both of these decks were blue-white tempo decks.
That's
How
great.
cool is that?
Is that just like your dream? You just wake up to
I don't
like
know.
seeing their deck list and you go, I'm back.
Well, like, I don't know, Marvel was my style of deck too. As much as the blue-white tempo decks are like Delver-type decks, Marvel was like a Splinter Twin type
Come
deck.
on, man. You can cheat. You can take the girl out for a night on the town, but blue-white flash, that's your wifey.
It is, it's the truth.
Come on.
Third place, $2,500, Iman Von Valerio. Fourth place, $2,500, Wei Pang Ming. Fifth place, $1,500, Cholo Pascual. Sixth place, $1,500, Mark Anthony Biola. And seventh place, $1,500, Ray Anthony Koo. And eighth place, $1,500, Dustin Tawley.
All right, we're getting right into it. This deck, awesome.
Blue, white, flash.
You know what I gotta say?
This is the most medium deck I've ever seen.
This card right here has just showed up in two different formats in the top 8 of Grand Prix.
Glorious.
No, I won't give in. No, I won't give in till we're victorious. For those of you that don't know, check it out. Glorious NXT. Andrea, you know it. You love it.
Glorious. All right, so interesting things about this deck. 6 ways to beat a resolved Ulamog. 4 copies of Stasis Snare, 2 copies of Cast Out. Also a Westvale Abbey. Also 4 copies of Archangel Avacyn. 3 main deck negates, 4 Selfless Spirits to protect 4 Spell Quellers. 2 Thalias to further complicate things from Marvel and some of the other 3-color decks. And then
Just
I
very
think it was
good
in
card.
4 copies of Spellcaller and 4 copies of Gideon.
A lot of 4s.
This is a Japanese deck. This is what you do in Japan. You go 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and if you don't do that, you do something crazy. Like Painful Truth's Glorybound Initiate
Yeah.
1 Tassiger or
Yeah.
whatever they were doing last weekend.
So,
Oh no, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
go ahead. Just go.
But this
Go.
deck is like I said, this is like what you do. Japanese deck building is like bang, 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 all 4 ups. But then the sideboard is where like the true like character stuff happens. Like 1 Vizier of Many Faces,
Yeah.
Dusk to Dawn. That's a cool one.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, this deck is sweet. Jason Unraveler of Secrets, Sky Sovereign
Your
Console
favorite
Flagship.
card, Aether Meltdown.
I don't know if I like Ether Meltdown.
I
here.
love this. Big Jace. Laying it down. So, I like this deck a lot. I don't like the Westvale Abbey. I think it's just like weird, clunky, not great. concession to maybe the blue-red, control decks.
Do you understand mana base math?
Yeah.
You realize it's a free roll, right? Yeah. You could probably play 3.
3?
It's probably still a free roll.
Yeah, but I just don't understand. I don't know. I see what you're saying.
You don't have to like it.
Yeah, I just don't like it.
It's not poor deck building.
Okay. I didn't say it was poor deck building. I just said I don't like it.
Well, why don't you like it?
I'm not.
It's literally better than Plains.
No, it's literally not, because
It is.
you're going to have to mulligan at some percentage of the point when you have the double Island Westvale draw. And where you take that out and you put another land, even like an Evolving Wilds, in my mind, would be better than that.
To have reliable double white on turn 2, which you don't even actually need. You need it on turn 3.
Sure.
To have double white on turn 3, I believe you need 14 sources.
Yeah, String Daddy, I do.
You
and
need
Dylan's with me. Dylan Donegan rolling with Danny.
14 sources for reliable double white on turn 3.
Frank Carson's not here, all right? If he was here, he could let
Derek's
us know
in the
about
chat.
that.
Don't make him
Get
don't
the
make
machine.
Him,
19 sources for 13.
don't make him show up. He's probably at a work meeting.
Yeah, he probably is. Anyway, I don't like it, all right? And that's what I like. I like the negates. I love the Quellers. I love pretty much everything else about this deck.
Delete that. That's really funny. 19 sources for turn 3.
Okay. Sure.
18.
Yeah. So I'm right.
If the Westvale Abbey was a Plains, he'd have reliably double white on turn 3.
So you're saying that I may know what I'm talking about.
You're right. But
what? But what?
There's
But what?
14 blue sources and no double blue cards in the main deck, and all the double blue cards in the sideboard are slow. So he should just cut an island for Plains. It should be 11 and 5, or play one meandering river because there's only 4 one drops in the deck.
Exactly. You
All those
don't
things
need
are
it on
acceptable.
turn 3. You need to double white on turn 4 for Gideon, and definitely on turn 5 for Archangel. So I love Stasis Snare in this deck because we talked about it. He's got 6 sources here or 6 cards that just deal with Resolved Ulamog, 2 that deal with Resolved Marvel, and Stasis Snares are great right now because no one's playing enchantment removal. You're the only one that was running the 3 mana gain 2 life. Yeah. Everyone else is playing Dissenters, Manglehorn.
Card is my Jimmy Jam.
Yeah, I like it. It's an instant. It's versatile. I think it's good.
At the Classic in Baltimore, one of my opponents cast Appetite on my Marvel, and I was like, this looks familiar. The next turn he cast Torrential Gearhulk, and afterwards he was like, this is your deck, sign my Marvel. And I was like, okay.
Oh my god. So, what's different from this deck? People tried this. They just, I guess, Ryochi, within testing, whether it was him or his team, they figured out that maybe the right way to go about this deck was not to try to play Rattle Chains and not to try to fight that battle with the low and less impactful spirits and play more of the beefy creatures.
I was going to write a note
Okay.
that said, don't you ever disrespect Rattle Chains on our show, but
Okay.
there's no paper to do it with.
Yeah, take that away.
How are we doing? We got a lot of viewers?
I don't know. We're doing all right.
Oh, I care.
We're doing good.
Oh,
We
we're
got
doing good.
50 people
We need more
watching.
viewers. Tell your friends what you're doing.
Tell your friends. Tell their friends.
Tell your friends what you're doing. We're not beating Gabby. We're not beating Newmont. We're not beating any of these people right now, and that's unbelievable. We are extremely talented.
And very good looking.
And very good looking.
It's true. It's true. It's damn true. Are you looking at my hair?
Yeah.
You like it?
I don't know, man. Your head kind of looks like
Weird.
like a museum head.
A museum head. I like that. I think I like that. A museum head.
Yeah,
I watched you for a little bit last night, Andrea, so we got you. And appreciate that, Bus. We do it every week on the 1s and 2s.
check out my limousine.
Oh my God! Here we go with the
Looks
Harlan.
it looks like you were chiseled from
Look at
stone.
Harlan.
That's what I mean, like a museum
Okay.
bust, like you were
Thank
chiseled
you.
from stone.
All I know is we had triple digits when I was on the show.
Oh, that's something we could talk about. It's like a week-old news, but later on we could talk about that.
No.
The Amaz being invited to the Pro Tour.
Yeah, maybe
And
we'll
how
talk
we
about
feel
that.
about that?
Yeah.
I
All
dig
right,
it.
let's look
We'll
at the
never
rest
have
of these.
as good of a take as Town and Grace.
Let's look at the rest of these decks here. We got Esper Vehicles, Teamer Marvel Works, Red Green Pummeler, Mardu Blue.
is dope. Oh,
Mardu Blue.
3 tempo decks in the top 8. Get me at 'em. Let me at 'em.
Zombies, green, black. So pick one. Let's go through one more, and then we got to talk about
Let's look at
Amsterdam.
the Esper Vehicles deck.
Esper Vehicles.
'Cause
Bang.
the other stuff is whatever. I'm never featuring Pummeler on this show as long as I'm a co-host.
Okay.
Pummeler is
Every
gross.
day I'm pummeling.
Every day I'm pummeling.
I'm just so glad I didn't lose to it. Before we get into this deck, how ridiculous is that I played 2 Grand Prix? So that's 15 rounds, right? 30 rounds. Didn't play, well, technically 26 rounds. Didn't play zombies once.
What did you drop?
No, I mean
Oh,
buys.
buys. Oh.
Anyway, back to this sweet, beautiful bean footage.
So we got 4 Gideon. What did you call it?
Bush's baked beans. With the dog, dude. Roll that sweet, beautiful bean footage.
I have no idea what's happening.
You
right
need
now.
to watch it. And for those of you that don't know, you like baked beans with
We got
bacon.
4
They're
Gideon
great.
Ally of Zendikar, 4 Raven Inspector, 4 Toolcraft Exemplar, 4 Scrap Heap Scrounger, 4 Spell Queller, 3 Glorybound Initiate, 2 Selfless Spirit, 2 Archangel Avacyn, 3 Metallic Rebuke, 3 Heart of Kirin, 1 Aethersphere Harvester, 1 Cast Out, 1 Stasis Snare, 24 land with no creature lands?
Oh, that's sweet. And there's
Okay.
no Westvale Abbey. Great. Like
Well, a 3-color deck, I would not play Westvale Abbey.
So as you're reading this down, I just like the inner Kevin Jones spirit animal just came out. And I thought of it, and it's just like, you are the definition of a scrap heap scrounger. So you can attack pretty well. You don't really block. You kind of like more run away. But you always come back. You're cheap costing, and you're efficient. And you use what you have to be able to win.
I think I'm like...
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, though, right?
I think I'm like a 2-mana 1/2.
Oh, a 1/2?
Yeah, like a...
What about a 1/0? Like a
Like a
1-mana
Lumen
1/0.
Grid Warden is a 1/3 for 2. That's like me.
I like this, scrap heap. Okay, so what's the concept of this deck? Is it just like similar to Tamada's deck in a tempo fashion? What are we trying to do here? A lot of these cards are similar, but we have some more controlling elements.
It's just like... It's less controlling elements, actually, right? Like,
Well,
it's more of a tempo deck.
Yeah, I
It
mean
has
like Metallic Rebuke.
less actual removal spells, and it has a Mana Leak type counter spell, which is much better in an aggressively slanted deck with vehicles than it is in the more of an aggro control deck that the Blue White Flash deck is.
Sure.
And then we've got a smaller emphasis on the Selfless Spirit Avacyn package, which I imagine is why he lost the finals. Because Tamada has 4
Selfless
spirits and 4 Avacyns. Yeah. So he just played the Avacyn Protect the Queen game. And because there's only 2 removal spells for a Resolved Avacyn in Wentao's Esper deck. He just
Avacyn's
got
big
crushed
game.
by Avacyn, I imagine. I'm
So-
sure that it's somewhere defined if you wanted to watch it. But I like these supplementary 2-drops in Glorybound Initiate. I like the split between Initiate and Heart of Kirin being a 3/3 because of the Legend rule, and it being harder to get rid of an excess one. Also, like, you can have some trouble activating yours, whereas, like, maybe not, though. You have Gideon's, too. You probably activate your Heart of Kirin pretty reliably.
So, so as you're running this down, and this is a shout out to Patrick Sullivan because he's great. Whenever you like say 4/4, I just think of him like reading off his burn legacy list and go 4 bolt 4 4 4 4 4 4
20 Arabian Nights Mountains.
And it makes me think of Dillinger now. 10
10 10 10
10. We have too many good wrestling references. All right, so is this a deck that you would play over Tamada's list, or do you like Tamada's list better? Not just because he won. You think, like, obviously with what you're saying, some of the numbers, like Avacyn should be a 4 of, I think. At least 3. The card's
3.
just so good.
Probably 3,
Okay.
but, like, what do you cut? Aethersphere Harvester, maybe? That card kind of sucks.
It's probably more of a sideboard card, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's really good against zombies.
Yeah. Definitely. But this deck's, I think, fine versus zombies that it takes to the air.
No, it's very
Well,
poor
I guess
against
not,
zombies.
because
This-
he's got
this
Toolcraft
deck is-
Exemplar. Yeah.
This deck is very bad against zombies.
Sure. I guess that's...
The blue-white deck is also very bad against zombies.
That's
Unless
with
it
the
flips
fumigates. We have fumigates for that. Kalidas will help out a little
Dust
bit.
to Dawn, Kalidas, Declaration, Boat.
The boat. All right, and let's get to the last one here, and there he is, Mr. Blohan. All right, let's give him the rundown. GP
Got
Amsterdam.
First place, $10,000. Lucas Blohan, a Platinum Pro. Team Genesis, right?
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Okay,
He's very good.
Before you get into the rest, in a Marvel-filled world, he wins with black-green Delirium. Eldritch Moon, everyone's playing Emrakul the Promised and ramp decks. He wins with Gideon and ulting Liliana. He knows what he's doing. All right, continue.
Second place, $5,000. Benjamin Luft.
Okay.
Third place, $2,500. Michael Morici. It's a pretty sweet beard there, man. Fourth place, $2,500. Arjun Van Leeuwen. This is maybe an old school pro. Not really sure what, but I've heard that name before.
Gotcha.
Not sure where. Pretty sure it's a Dutch name.
Yeah.
Not too much talent required to figure that out, but regardless, fifth place, $1,500. Jelko Baduz.
Played against him at the Pro Tour in Hawaii. He was playing Emerge. Really cool dude. We had a really good match, so good to see that he's, still doing good.
I don't know if it's a European thing or what, but the collars on their shirts are really, really thin.
Thin and like wrinkly?
Yeah, fifth, sixth, and eighth, they all have like the same like floppy collar on their shirt. Seventh place though, he's got a pretty
He looks like a rugby player.
he looks like a German rugby player. Yeah, he looks like a serious dude. So sixth place, $1,500. Thomas Hendricks. He's a pro of some capacity. I've heard the name many times.
Definitely. He's a very good player. I've also had the pleasure of playing against him at a pro tour, and he's just a cool dude.
He's also a huge human being, right? He's probably like almost as tall as you are.
Yeah, he's very tall. Yeah, he's very tall as well.
He just like goes out of the screen.
He's like European me.
Okay, he's European Dan. I'll remember that. Poor guy. All right, seventh place, $1,500. Alexander Mertens. This guy has got a pretty square jaw and looks a very serious man. I like it. Eighth place, $1,500. Rafael Kors.
It looks like something's going on, right? He's just like...
I like his face. He's just like...
Like, what?
You see me.
What's going on?
In the top 8.
Yeah.
You see me in the top 8. What was Rafael playing? Let's see what he was up to. He looks like he's up to something.
All right, yeah. I agree with you for once. Black Green Energy.
Oh, he's a sneaky cub daddy.
Snake. Sneaky Cub Daddy. We need to get a token, like a bear cub, and like little daddy bear cub token. So another Pummeler deck. We've got some Aetherworks Marvel, but we've got a lot of Delirium decks and some Black Green Energy. Let's start off with Lucas's deck. We didn't take a peek at Sam's, but I'm assuming it's not too far off. But it does look a little different.
Similar to this, I saw him play basically all of these cards.
Never Return, we've seen that. Okay. So we've got 4 Planeswalkers, 3 Nissa, 1 Liliana, 20 creatures, 4 Winding Constrictor, 2 Rishkar, Pima Remigade, 4 Walking Ballista, card's kind of fallen out of favor now, 2 Verdurous Gearhulk, 4 Grimflare, 4 Tracker, 4. 6 Sorceries, 2 Never Returns, 4 Traverse, 4 Dissenters, 4 Fatal Push, 22 lands. What do you think of it?
I think you can play 4 main deck Shatter when Shatter is a split card that reads 1 green mana draw.
Draw a card, yeah, it's pretty good.
It's also an absurd world where there's not something better than 4 main deck Shatter that replace themselves.
Yeah, it's weird, like Shatter that replaces itself. It's like a removal spell versus vehicles, while also, like you said, drawing cards and fueling Delirium, which I think is big game. Because you want to be setting up those traverses and you want to be hitting harder with the Grimflares. One of the things that it's like interesting to see that I'm not like surprised at all, but we're like seeing Delirium decks that have Ishkana like not even in the main deck.
Yeah, there's not much Mardu anymore, and you don't really need it.
Sure.
I still think I would play 1 to traverse for.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like 1 that and 1 Gearhulk. Like instead of having the 2 Gearhulks. Like, obviously, Gearhulk hits harder, is way better with Walking Ballista and Winding Constrictor.
This deck is pretty aggressive, though, actually.
Yeah,
Like, it's just going to play, like, a Flare and a Tracker and just get in there.
Yeah.
There's no Grasp of Darknesses, though.
What do you think about the sideboard for the Marvel package here? 4 Transgress, 2 Dispossess. We've seen everybody try everything under the sun. I've seen just 4 Dispossess.
That's not all they bring in.
Well, sure, but I'm talking about that's like... The numbers on those cards is, I guess, where I'm going with.
They also bring in the Lily, Obnixilis, and Gonti.
Gonti's great.
and they probably cut their pushes, maybe a couple Nissas. I don't really know.
Yeah, it could definitely have a place in the sideboard. So, Seagal says K-Fed in the building.
K-Fed is in the building.
That's true. We out here.
Dead house. So the worst thing that ever happened to me regarding never to return is at the Atlanta Open, I was playing that stupid Emerge deck. Even though Seagal had broke the format and had Marvel.
Broke it.
He did. He broke it. He Glimmers and Gearhulks and Marvel. He had
Broke
the whole deck.
Broke it.
He had main deck to Center's Deliverance too.
Broke it.
Insane. I was so impressed. And he didn't even give me the deck list.
Broke it.
He was just like, he didn't give me the deck list. Disrespectful,
Seagal,
but anyway,
don't give him the deck list.
Blue Red Emerge. Playing against Bobby Graves of Team Card Hoarder.
Okay.
And I do the whole end of your second main phase, get back this Stitchwing thing so that my amalgams come into play at the end step.
Sure.
And he's like, all right, so that kicks you back into... that kicks us back into my main phase and I get priority back. And I'm like, certainly. And he's like, okay, never the thing, return the amalgam. And I'm just like, I don't know why I played this deck in a tournament, and that's it.
And that was the end of your that was the end of your day.
It's just rough.
That's weird too, because that's 7 mana.
Yeah.
That's a lot of mana.
When your deck does nothing for the first 7 turns of the game, your opponent has time.
That's like playing Garruk Apex Predator mana.
How long before the Marvel Mirror involves Kefnet the Mindful?
Never.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. And I think it's a good time now that we're going to go into like one more deck. But I wanted to, the title for this Threes Company is we're talking about Lucas Blohan, Brad Nelson, and Ryoichi Tamada. 2 of the 3, Brad and Ryoichi, just back-to-back top 8s. Paul Dean had a back-to-back top 8. We're going to get the poll up there. And this is kind of a fire away in the chat, if you will. Is it more important in Magic to be lucky or good? Like, is skill versus luck? What is more important?
I would say skill.
Okay.
I don't really understand how this is a poll.
I love it.
Also, I can't see the outcome of the poll.
Well, we can. The people will type in, and we'll our production manager, scene survivor.
I think luck
making
is
up
important.
new titles.
Luck is important, so you need to control your own luck the best you can.
So someone
But
sent me a message this week that said, "Luck is where preparation meets opportunity."
that is like probably some quote from some poker player.
Yeah, probably.
Or a football player or something.
Yeah, shout out to Pac-Nug.
You know what
Lucky
that
Bees.
quote is? I bet it's like a high school football coach.
Sure.
Like some Friday Night Lights nonsense. Like, all here in the training room, like, gentlemen,
So is one?
this is
one,
where
you can't see
men
it. Is one
are
skill or two?
forged.
Is one is skill? Okay.
Gentlemen, this is where men are forged from battle.
Okay.
This is where you find that luck is the intersection of preparation and opportunity. See?
Okay. I think I got a good clip to go out on.
You
there
got a
because
nice
of that.
football coach quote.
Yeah,
I always
I'll
watch
get in
like
there.
documentaries about like high school football teams and college football teams and just end up crying, and like I don't know what that means about me as a person, but it happens a lot.
I just think like you can relate to them.
Yeah, I like competition, man,
All right, so
and human emotion.
we've seen Black Green. We went over Delirium. Blue Red Control is kind of like same thing. I kind of want to look at a deck that was like talked about going this weekend, and some people did decent with it, but didn't quite make the top 8. Where is it? There's lots of Marvel. There's Teamer cards, Zombies. No, we keep going over Marvel, Blue Red.
Juice's blue red.
No, there's a specific deck I want. This right here. There we go. Simon Nielsen's Jeskai Vehicles. This is another one that I think is like right up your alley.
This deck is sweet.
So fire away.
3 Gideon, 4 Thraven Inspector, 4 Scrappy Scrounger, 4 Veteran Motorist. Whoa. 2 Inventor's Apprentice, 4 Spell Queller, 4 Toolcraft Exemplar, 4 Harness Lightning, 2 Metallic Rebuke, 4 Heart of Kieran, 2 Ethersphere Harvester. So it is actual Jeskai vehicles with a splash for Scrap Heap Scrounger activations. Not Mardu with a splash for Spell Queller and Metallic Rebuke, which we've also seen. I think this deck is sweet. 12-3. You're like one match away from top 8. You know, it's pretty good. We got a pretty good sideboard here, too.
Okay.
We got Cut to Ribbons, Ceremonious Rejection, Chandra, some 1-of, some more lands, Fumigates. It's like a sweet.
Yeah, it's like doing everything you want to do, and it can morph into, I don't want to say somewhat of a control deck, but with like the Planeswalker plans, having Fumigates, Chandras.
It's got Planeswalkers and
yeah,
Fumigates.
It's
can
got
do
like
something.
yeah. I'm not sure I like this card in the deck that much. Inventor's Apprentice. It's always kind of just been kind of underwhelming, especially.
I just want to get
with,
in there game 1, and if the Marvel decks are cutting cutting Whirlers in favor of Shatters.
Okay.
You played against Jeskai online, and it seemed awful.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think this deck is cool.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm not sure. Like Heart of Kirin is a card that I really thought would see more. We'd see more in the top 8 this weekend. I think it's just one of those cards like being aggressive. One of the decks that we haven't really seen that I thought would actually come back a little bit too is Ben Stark's Jund deck.
This deck should just play a boat, man.
A boat? Just one boat?
Or an Avacyn. I don't know.
Just crew it up? Is that Combat Matt in the chat here?
What else we got here?
Was there any other deck you wanted to talk about before we move it on? Let's move it on.
The 4-color vehicles. What is that? Go down. You were doing it. There we go. Peter Sorcerek. I like this dude.
This is basically the Jeskai Vehicles deck. They just call it 4-color vehicles because of
unlicensed
Scrap Heap and unlicensed. Well, I guess, yeah, Scrap Heap and unlicensed.
You know, this deck is probably really good.
Yeah, he was undefeated after day 1. So
He's
things
awesome.
want to just combat Matt.
He's like one of the best players in Europe. Like he's probably like top 10 player in the world right now.
Yeah, I think he's in top 25 for sure.
Man, you always like disagree with me.
I don't disagree.
You know
with
what?
you.
If I had,
but you just said some irrational statement, which usually comes from me, and you said top 10 players in the world. Do you know what that means? Saying
dude
that?
won a GP like a month ago.
Okay, you won a GP
he's
a week
on
ago.
fire.
Does
Yeah,
that
but
mean
I'm
you're in the
medium as
top
hell.
10? Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from Peter. Peter, don't put this on me.
I think you are taking something away from
You
Peter.
just said
I don't
he
think
is
you respect.
top 10. Top 10 is crazy.
Right now.
Okay, so top 10. Shout out. Great job, Peter. But top 10? Top 10?
This is the best place for sleeves, and you
Playoffs?
come disrespecting Platinum Pros like that.
Playoffs, dude? You talking about practice?
You talking about practice?
Practice? You talking about practice?
Is that an Iverson quote? I forget.
No, I think it's a Russell Westbrook quote.
Okay.
Yeah, because he missed a practice. And he's like playing ridiculous. All right, so the polls are in. 78.6% of you lovely people think that it is skill. And 21.4% think it is luck.
It is skill.
Skill wins.
Skill game.
Put the steak on the grill because it all comes down to skill. All right, we're moving on. We're going to GP
Allen
Las
Iverson quote.
Vegas.
I said that.
I don't think it's an Allen Iverson quote. Is it? Is it?
I think so.
All right.
People were
Well,
mad
I'll
that he
retract
wasn't practicing and he went up and dropped like 40 or whatever, and he was like,
Yeah,
talking
you're
about
right.
practice.
It is an Allen Iverson quote because now that I remember, I was watching the documentary on a flight this year.
That documentary was good.
It was very good, and it shows like how crazy people's lives are before like they become big. It's awesome. Yep, it's Allen Iverson. Yeah. All right, so GP Vegas, it's gonna be great. Look at this picture. This picture just like, I'm excited. I want to go to Vegas. I can't wait. We're both going.
We are. I'm afraid I won't come back. I should come back though.
So I'm going to start the poll off. We got a poll for this one as well. Which GP will be most attended? So that's the poll. Get in the chat. Let us know what's going on, what you're doing. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna play Legacy,
Okay.
and I'm gonna play Modern.
So
I'm gonna play Grixis in all formats.
So is this just like the grinder's dream? Like 2 Grand Prix, maybe even 3 Grand Prix in a weekend? Is this like, hey, if I'm good at limited, I still have to go to the first 2? Or go to the first one and see how I do?
It makes more sense to play the 2 constructed ones, even if you're the best limited player in the world.
Really?
Maybe not, but it's close.
What if like you just show up day 1, like Legacy, and you're just like, you know what? If I 8-1 or 7-2, I'll roll the dice and I'll play the next day. But if I'm 6-3, I'm gonna drop and I'm gonna open my pool because it's worth the EV. I think is not great.
What
but
are
like
the three
opening,
options? Sorry.
The three options are standard. No.
No.
Modern,
Legacy, and sealed. But what number corresponds to which?
You don't need to know until the end of the poll. It's
Well,
Modern, Legacy, and Sealed.
Someone
Modern,
is in there,
Legacy,
and their handle is Limited Resources Podcast.
Yeah.
And I hope they're voting for Limited. Otherwise,
No, they're
that's
voting
silly.
for Modern.
They're voting for Modern. I think Modern is the correct answer.
Yeah.
I
We're
vote
not
for Modern.
We're not. Yeah. We're gonna play them all. I think. Okay.
Thank
Modern,
you,
there
M.
go.
Rockham.
And Sock'em.
Sock'em,
I don't have my
Daddy.
bat.
Oh,
I don't have my bat with me. I don't have the bat. So.
Man, I wish they weren't holding me back. Daddy, daddy, daddy.
So I think like a lot of people are going to do that. They're going to just like, hey, let's play Legacy if we have the cards. If not, let's enjoy Vegas. Like I've got a lot of friends flying in for this, and I've told them the same thing. They're like, hey, what should I do, Dan? You know, and I'm like, well, for me, it makes sense to play Legacy. If I don't do well day one, open my pool. If it's good, then I'll play. But I'm ready to go Modern as well. But I think some people are feeling like the pressure of, because it is such a big event. This is the biggest event of the year, right? So you feel pressured into wanting to get the value of playing 2 Grand Prix when you don't actually have to do that. You can just enjoy your time with friends in Vegas, play one event, go to EDC, check out the World Series of Poker, go watch, Penn and Teller. By the way, one of the greatest shows I've ever been to. It's phenomenal.
I might
Go
play a
down
couple
there.
cheap poker tournaments while I'm out there. I might wander around and look at some of the pros and.
Yeah.
Owen registered for all.
He
3.
did. I saw that tweet. And I think that the value, right? Don't you save like $10 on each one?
Do you just get like a sealed pool even if you are in the other tournament?
So I don't believe so, because if I remember correctly, you can only play one premium event at a time. Mm-hmm. And so you can only, like, it's the same thing with like people playing Grand Prix and then being on the mocks and stuff. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that he's gonna have to, before the round 1 of the sealed, drop from the other one, or he'll be immediately dropped, I would think.
Well, part of like the thing with like playing the mocks when you're in a GP is that like that means someone else is using your account, which is like also a problem.
True.
And that's like why that's a thing, I think.
True. Wish Potato, real quickly. Whenever you go to a Grand Prix for your altered cards, the first thing you should do is go up to the head judge of that event, or ask a judge that is, usually a L2, and ask to speak to the head judge and show them the alters.
Most alters are fine. Some alters are not.
Sean Weigel, what up? Yeah, you got to bring them up to there, and it really depends on the judge. I've had judges veto the same card that another judge has let me play with.
Yep.
So just make sure that head judge is aware of that.
I've had judges tell me that this card is fine, and then the head judge give me a game loss for using it.
Yeah, that's not great.
I borrowed like Altered Thoughtseizes years
Hold on,
and years
Sean.
ago.
Good to see you. Or hear from you. Or see you in the chat. Whatever.
Daddy,
I have altered fulminators.
Daddy,
Yeah, I've
Daddy,
got some signed
Daddy,
fulminators.
Daddy.
So
So Vegas is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for Magic players.
So I agree with you, but I also think, like, is this something that they're just going to do every year now? Is this just going to be like the slam bam, thank you ma'am, Channel Fireball's in charge, Vegas is just the ground to do this
I can't afford to
celebration
do this ever again.
Why not?
I don't know.
You're the dad.
It's just so freaking expensive.
Is it? You don't have to get Sharpie all.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's probably not that expensive. It's probably like runs you like $500.
So a little
Travel.
A little tick on MTG Finance. What I will say that this does is, now that Channel Fireball's taking over, it won't be as big of a deal. Mm-hmm. But what this does do, the events like this, it does take away from the events before and after. Because like you said, it is very expensive. There's a lot of people that are going to fly into town Tuesday, and they're going to stay in Vegas all week. They're going to spend lots of money. Mm-hmm. They're going to spend money on the most expensive entry fees for Grand Prix all year. And side events and food and everything that comes with that. And so, like, the week after, which is GP Cleveland, maybe someone that was on the fence with going to it is just like, you know what, my concession is I'm going to Vegas, so now I'm, like, using money that I would maybe break up into 2 Grand Prix, and I'm going to skip 2 Grand Prix because I'm going to go to Vegas.
All right.
Which is weird, right?
Well, it's 2 Grand Prix.
Yeah. It is. That's what I'm saying. It's 2 in 1, but like they're taking away from like other events that maybe someone would go to because it is a just Magic celebration. Is I think the way they're trying to, put this out there and advertise this.
I think that, like, it's pretty interesting that I can go to these tournaments, and if I get 2 points in one and 1 point in the other, if I get 3 points total across these 2 tournaments, I get to be silver. And then I can possibly defer my Japan invite and go to 2 Pro Tours in 2018.
That would be fantastic.
Be sweet.
That would be fantastic. I think you'll get there.
Magic's not worth what?
It's not worth paying all the money.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like,
party.
if you don't play Magic that much,
Hey,
like, this is
appreciate
not
it.
another thing on the grind for you. It's like,
Sean Weigel, thanks for the follow.
following the daddy to the ends of the earth.
Okay.
Sorry.
Vegas is the ends of the earth.
But like,
Catskill might
the
be.
thing is, this
The
is
end
just
of
like
the
an
earth.
awesome experience. Who gets to go to Las Vegas with their friends? Like, hundreds of our friends are going to be here at the same
Thousands.
time that we are.
The millions.
The
And
daddy
millions.
and his millions.
Oh my god. There's no way of like the Jerichoholics to be like the daddy and his children. Is that the best way?
Can you smell what Dan Ward is cooking?
It's mac and cheese. The secret's out.
Daddy.
I do make a killer mac and cheese. All right. So other than Magic and hanging out with the friends, is there anything like specifically you're looking forward to in Vegas? You said In-N-Out. In-N-Out's kind of big game. For those of you that
I'm
haven't
just
had
gonna
In-N-Out,
explore.
it's kinda cool.
Like, I'm just gonna look at all the lights and all the stuff. It's gonna be really cool. I'm gonna
Okay.
play a little bit of poker. I'll probably play like.
The World Series is going on. You know you
Yeah.
could check that out and be like,
I'm certainly
you know.
gonna check it out. I'm
I'm
probably not
surprised
gonna
you
play
didn't bring
World
this up
Series
yet.
tournaments.
I'm surprised you didn't bring this up yet.
What?
Your boy's going to be there. Your boy is literally coming to Grand Prix Las Vegas to help promote Magic. He's a Seattle Seahawk.
Oh, Cash?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cassius Marsh is gonna be there,
So,
which is awesome.
if you're a Seahawks fan,
Which I am.
which you are, and what you talked about, what we need is these big name people coming out in the Magic
Yeah,
community
it's
and support.
great.
Just him coming to the Grand Prix, you know, all these people are going to see that. It's going to be fantastic. And I like to say there's a lot of Magic players from the Seattle area that will come down.
Yeah, short flight from Seattle, probably like 2.5 hours or so.
Yeah, Vegas is going to be hot, so that's for sure.
I mean,
Uh-oh, he said we're getting some
calling me
shade.
out.
The shade's coming
it's the
out.
team that I started liking when I was like 6 years old, and I just happened to get lucky.
That's
You know,
right.
they're good now.
That's right, Andrea. The little Degeneration X proudly brings to you. We need. Kevin's got this one. The poll's out.
69.2% modern, 15.4% legacy, 15.4% seal.
Sealed. All right, so modern, you win again. Modern is just like we're taking over one set at a time.
What does that mean? That means like 14 people voted for modern and 3 people each voted for legacy and sealed? I don't know. Something like that.
How the Redskins looking? They're looking great. Kirk Cousins is great. We get the quote on there. Do you like
Do you like that?
Do you like that?
I
We'll
am
see.
playing Grixis Delver for legacy and Grixis Death Shadow for modern.
I am
And
also going to be playing Death Shadow.
If I don't day 2 legacy, I'm going to be hanging out on Friday, just dorking around Las Vegas and enjoying my life. It's going to be great.
Dorking around. I like that. I like that. All right.
A dirtler, if you will.
So, for those of you that haven't booked for Vegas, I suggest doing it. There's a lot going on that weekend. And for those of you that, don't get to see Kevin and I, you're here every week. Definitely make it a point to come check us out. We'll be at the convention. We do appreciate that. It's something that I think that we don't really talk about enough at the end of the show. And
What, when people come up and talk to
yeah,
us?
on all
Oh, I
the
love
events, it's like one of the really proud moments I have. Like, coming up and saying that we're doing a good job.
I don't
And
know
even
if
if we're not, if you got something to tell us, be like, you know what, Dan, you can work on this. Or Kevin, can you do this for me? We take that into consideration as well.
I don't know if I told you this.
But come on, Combat Matt. We're not driving to Vegas. The Omaha drive was brutal. By the way, for those of you that
You
didn't
can
know.
drive to Vegas from San Diego.
Yeah, of course. 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Easy.
Which
For
a
those
lot
of
of
you
your
that didn't
friends
know-
who watch the show are
Yeah,
from San Diego.
hey, I remember you, the worst noob ever. I remember. So this last weekend, Combat Matt and I, we took a drive to Omaha. 17 hours there, 17 hours back. Combat Matt Tumovich. He created the deck Teamer Cards. Won the Classic in Baltimore. And yeah, Combat Matt. That's the name. And no, not driving to Vegas. So we drove to Omaha. I had to like test my wits, I guess, if you say. Usually the flying is the preferred method for me to
I should have
travel.
gone to Omaha.
Yeah, you might have won.
I might have won first place.
Yeah, it's an early drive, that's for sure. You might have. All right, Daddy, we got the last topic here. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, I was going to say, we were on the topic of people coming up and talking to us.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Telling us how much they appreciate what we did. And after we talk about this, we're going to get into AMAZ or Amaze or however the heck
Yeah,
you
we
say
can talk a
his
little
name.
bit about that. It's fine.
It interests me what people think about that. So, two gentlemen came up to Brad Nelson and I. We were playing what's called Danish Magic. This was in GP Montreal. We were, I think our records were like 5-3 and 6-2 or something like that. It was like toward the end of day one.
Okay.
So like we're sitting there playing Danish Magic, and I'm explaining how you have been rules lawyering me in Danish Magic all morning.
No, that is not
And
true.
how you took
that is not true.
Me for.
So for those of you that don't know how this game works, pretty much it's a game that is designed as a judge's teaching tool. That's what it was told to me when I first learned it.
Yeah.
And so it's a game where you open up a pack, you shuffle the cards around, you decide who goes first, and you have to play each card as soon as you can play it at every step, and you have to activate stuff. You basically have to do stuff, even if it's not good for you, at every point in the game. So if you have an instant, you have to play it right away or you lose. If you have to attack or you lose. If you know, etc., etc. So if you don't do those things, you lose. So there's literally no rules lawyering.
Well, I just like played a cartouche, didn't bounce my trial, and then 2 turns later I was like, yo, I forgot to bounce my trial. Do I lose? And you were like, yes, and you picked up your cards.
Because you lost. That's not rules lawyering.
I was telling Brad all these things, and he was like, man, he was hustling you. That's disrespectful. I don't like that, or whatever.
Sure.
And then we were talking about how mean you are.
Okay, so this went from talking about people coming up to us to you
talking about
mean I am.
how you treat me poorly and how you're a bad friend.
Sure.
And then a second later, 2 gentlemen come up to us, and one of them is from Japan.
Okay.
And the other one, he's from Japan. You can tell that English is not his first language.
Sure.
The other one is
yeah, I'm a Billy.
also of Asian descent, but he speaks English fairly well. So he comes up, and his friend, they're both smiling, and they say, the guy who clearly speaks English says, "Oh wow, is that Brad Nelson and Jim Davis?"
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, ugh. I'm like, no, I'm not Jim Davis. And Brad's like, yeah, my name's Brad Nelson. It's good to meet you. And he's like, oh, you're Kevin Jones. And then I shake his hand. I'm like, thank you. And then the other guy is like kind of talking to his friend, but he doesn't really speak English. So he's like translating for him. And he says, oh, like, he's really happy to meet us. He's from Japan. And he says, thank you for, meeting me and stuff. And it was just really cool.
Yeah. Those moments are great. Like, wow, really, Marco? Nice. What's going on, Johnny? Those moments are really good, and like I can say it happens a lot. There's people that I run into, whether it's like playing against them or somebody just comes up to me. Like it's happened multiple times, and like it's very humbling because as you grow in this game, you establish a lot of friends, as you will, and a lot of just good acquaintances. And it's good to know that like there's still people out there that appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great to meet some people from another country, presumably either Canada or Japan, who really liked what I was doing, and that made me super happy. And it was cool that we don't always speak the same language, and it's awesome that Magic is kind of a universal language for that.
This is true.
That has to be true. It is true.
It's Weigel.
Weigel. Well, whatever. The point of it is not that I can pronounce his last name correctly. Yeah. The point is that he's 100% right.
Yeah.
You are the type of guy who would get thrown out of rec league games for arguing with the officials.
Yeah, because they don't know how to call.
You're the type of guy who would push someone at a charity basketball tournament.
What? Get out of here.
You'd be like, he was clearing out. He got what he deserved.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta let them know where you stand.
But yeah,
and,
so
basketball's my jam. I have gotten thrown out, so those are. That's a factual statement there.
I remember you dropping a slew of F-bombs and exiting the room when we were playing ball the one time. You got mad at the pastor and took off. like an hour into the night. That was
Yeah,
great.
that definitely happens. Basketball is like my love, my passion, like even more so than Magic at some points. And like so I get really into it.
Remember when I was busting you and we were
You
playing
were
threes?
never busting
or twos
me.
or whatever it was? I was eating
You
your
were
soul.
never busting
I
me.
ripped off your head and was just
You
eating
were
your
never
soul
busting
slowly
me.
out of the top of your neck.
Kevin, you were never busting me.
I was.
You weren't.
I was like 6 for 7 from behind the arc.
No, you weren't.
From downtown!
This is just like
Daddy connects again!
You're just terrible. Anyone that plays basketball with Kevin will realize that he's just not very good at
I'm a
basketball.
liability on defense.
You're
but
just
I
a
can
liability.
rain it from downtown.
You can. No, you can't.
Click, 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 click.
Yeah, okay.
Click, click.
So GP Vegas, we're going to try to get a basketball game together, so you should bring your shoes, and we'll see if you can, we should do that. Let's get that on camera. One-on-one.
One-on-one is not going to
Daddy,
do. You're 6 inches taller than me and 100 pounds
I
heavier
just
than
hear
me.
excuses.
One-on-one. All right, if I get the ball first, I don't think you'll get it back.
Ooh, those are some,
Dan Ward can't guard a house plant. That's the best thing that's ever been put in the chat. I'm dead.
Well,
All right.
Matt to the C, I don't really know who you are, but you obviously don't know much about basketball or me. So yeah, I can't. If I
Oh,
can't
I
guard
thought
a
this
house
person
plant-
was good friends with you.
No, I don't know who this is.
Oh.
I don't think it's Combat Matt. So
Oh, well, that's even funnier.
Yeah.
I think I know who it is, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not going to say anything.
yeah, that's
But
cool.
anyway, moving on. Someone wanted to hear about MGG. We got a couple minutes. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, how they
And
dropped
then
you.
I want to
And
know
then-
your take on Amaze.
Okay,
Mavs.
so MGG dropped you,
MGG dropped me.
and then they were like, you know what? We should probably bring him back because people think he's Jim Davis.
No,
there's some equity
basically
there.
like when you are a business and also a team, it's important that you are compatible with everyone else.
SAWFT.
T soft. Yeah, so like, basically you need to be a team player, and I'm not really that good at that. I was like late to everything, like owed people money, you know, like the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
Wasn't very good, missed a bunch of flights, like, and then it's like, hey, if you need to move your business along, you can move your business along however you see fit.
Sure.
And they elected to like continue without me as part of the team, and they were pretty nice about it. And like, I don't blame them at all.
Yeah, they kind of bent over backwards for you.
They did. They gave me every single possible opportunity to get my life together and to be better at the things that I'm supposed to be doing competently since I'm a professional.
Yeah, like
at
playing
this game.
basketball, but that just.
And instead, you know what happened? I just continued to be degenerate and late and blatantly absurd, and that's just
And-
how I choose to live my life.
Yeah, and get rewarded by winning the WMCQ.
And a Grand Prix.
Well, that had nothing to do with it, but you
I
being.
mean, it did. You know what time I got to the Grand Prix?
I don't know.
Like 3 a.m. the
Yeah.
night before the tournament, with no deck list on.
Yeah, I almost fell on you. I know, you were in my room.
I did the math though.
We stayed together. You almost got knocked out of the top 8 too.
Because I was just smoking
Yeah.
instead? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you were like 5 minutes. Mark and Marshall were like, Dan, do you know where the daddy is? Because we waited, and we're going to start without him. And I
Well,
was
you know
like,
what? The round turnover was so fast on day 2 that I didn't get to smoke for like 3 hours. So I was like, you know what? I'm done. I made the top 8. I'm going out to smoke. They can come drag me back inside. Whatever.
All right, AMAZ. You want to finish it off with some AMAZ talk?
Yeah. So, special invites. We haven't heard from the hubbub, humdrum, blah, 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 of the special invite denouncer demographic of Magic, which is one that exists.
Sure.
There's a group of people who go, "Wah! I was trying to get on the Pro Tour, and they gave a special invite to you stupid Hearthstone Pro. How are we supposed to get on the Pro Tour if they give away our invites? Stupid Hearthstone Pros."
Was that like a South Park reference there? Was that like
I don't
Kenny?
know. I was about to be like, they took our jobs.
Oh my god.
I just realized I started to sound like South Park like halfway through that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I understand people's outrage. People take time, passion, to try to commit, you know, they commit themselves to this game. They try to play. They try to play at a high level, and they work hard to get to the Pro Tour. Not everybody succeeds. Some people succeed once, slip, try to get back, can't get back, etc., etc., etc.
Sure.
It's an emotional roller coaster for a lot of people on the cusp of pro level Magic,
Okay.
and that's understandable. And I see it firsthand with people, friends on social media, and people I know, and even myself from time to time, and even you from time to time. I'm sure we all wrestle with these feelings.
Yeah, it's really tough for me because, like, I think I'm fine with the special invite.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're going to do this special invite thing, it's going to have to be more consistent. There's going to have to be some kind of committee put together. I don't know who actually makes these decisions. Yeah. And I think it's interesting because this starts, you know what this reminds me of, actually? Like, it reminds me of them picking the all-NBA team.
Sure.
They pick 3 teams, your first team, second team, third team, and they mix the positions. They just, like, kind of try to pick the best players. Whereas this, it's like, to me, and you saw it with the Pro Tour coverage, with what they did with streaming, and with AMADS, this is a first step. But I'd like to see, like, every Pro Tour, there be, like, 5 special invites. And it can be one, like, celebrity type thing. Maybe 2 celebrity type things, like people in the community. Maybe a streamer, and maybe you just go, these are people that are consistently putting up results, or these are people that are good advocates and good ambassadors of the game. And
you
it
invite
could just...
Cassius Marsh to the Pro Tour?
Cassius Marsh?
Seahawks guy.
Yeah, like, I mean,
the
money doesn't matter to him, obviously.
Adrian Peterson plays Magic.
Yeah.
Do you invite Adrian Peterson to the Pro Tour when he gets injured again, which is going to happen in like 6 months probably because he's old?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Matt
okay,
Cole,
Matt.
right?
Now I got it. All right.
Yeah,
see,
I know.
I can't see that. What up, Matt? And I wish I could actually take you up on the event in Charlotte, but I am going to be going to the RPTQ Sunday down in Philly. Hopefully get my ticket for Kyoto. So what up, brother?
Back to back. Back to back. Hunter Pence, Hunter Pence of the San Francisco Giants. All-star outfielder. Baseball player?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm fine with those. And people that say are like, oh my God, like, they're outraged in this. I'm not saying that they're not a little right, because, like, people that are dedicating their life, whether it's through streaming, playing, whatever. But, like, what kind of committee do you put together that's unbiased, that can judge these? You know, it's like us having an argument on Hall of Fames. It's like talking about how many Opens is worth a Grand Prix, how many Grand Prix are worth a Pro Tour, like all of these like things that are debatable and like just points. Like who's going to make these decisions? Are there going to be like 4 people or 3 people within Wizards that just like you submit a resume to get your free special invite? And like
I think
college applications?
There's like brand managers and stuff. The brand manager, what is her name? Elaine Chase, is that her name? The brand manager for Wizards? I think that's her name. Whatever.
Okay.
But people in that person's department should do this. It's brand management. It's a marketing technique.
Yeah, but I almost think like having someone like Andrew Brown and having his inputs is actually very important too.
He needs to fix standards so we're not marveling into Ulamog until November or whatever.
Maybe.
That's his job. He's got a job. He's on Play Design or whatever they're called.
Yeah, he was in Omaha. He was saying hi to everybody, taking a look at some stuff. So
Andrew Brown's great.
I really like Andrew.
He's got a beautiful haircut.
He does. It's kind of fallen into the hipster like shag a little bit, which is sweet.
It's cool.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'd like to see players get a shot, like you said. And more. If they're going to do that, I'm fine with having a couple of special invites. Because we both know how hard it is to queue and how hard it is to stay queued. And, like, it's a nice little thing. Like, you see these stories of someone, like, going to a Pro Tour. This last Pro Tour, one of the guys was, like, doing really well on day 1. And he's played, like, I think 4 Pro Tours in a span of, like, 15 years.
Okay.
He's from Australia. I forget his name, but he was doing well. He was playing Marvel, and it's like it's cool to see people that like stay in the game, and it rewards them for like putting the time in. When you see the Planeswalker point list, like that right there, is the best way to see who's supporting your game, because it'll show the best players and all those like Hall of Famers and all those Platinum Pros that have like invites already. Like you don't have to worry about those. But when you look deeper and you see like maybe a couple names that like you don't normally like associate with being like really good, but they're supporting the game. Like that's the people you want to help out.
The Australian from the Pro Tour?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oliver Ox.
Yes, there you go. Perfect.
He won a GP with Lantern.
Yes.
Like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that so Sam Tugo Husk, I think that it's not like people are getting snubbed for the invites. It's not like that. People are not being snubbed so that AMAS can be invited or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's like more like they need to. It's just like additional advertising expenses for Magic that they're making, and it's like justifiable too.
Yeah, I mean, did every F&M for over 10 years? That's a little much. Because at the same time, I think you have to be very careful with this because this is the Pro Tour. And, with that, you want, professional play. But I don't think you're diluting the Pro Tour by a lot by sneaking in like 2 or 3 people, especially if they're good for the promotion of the game, which we need. And also in conjunction, rewarding people for consistent effort.
I don't think it even matters
results.
if the players on the Pro Tour are good.
Yeah, we've had this discussion. I don't want to go down that path.
You don't want to go down that path because you're mad how right I am, right?
No, you're not. You're not right. And we're not going to talk about
I think the Pro Tour would be more successful if it was literally 400 celebrities.
Okay.
And no Magic Pros.
Sure.
I mean, obviously that's I don't know how to that's corrupting the game.
Yeah.
Because we have some sort of intrinsic value, and some people would be like, a lot of Magic players would be like, this is disrespectful that like Lindsay Lohan and Ted Nugent are like playing at 2-0 in this draft pod or whatever.
Sure.
Like, get this off of my television. I want to watch Ben Stark and Riesel or whatever. Like, there would be people who'd say that and be like, this is disrespectful to Magic. Like, you can't just have a Pro Tour filled with like B-list celebrities or whatever.
Yeah, that would be dumb.
Would it be dumb though? It
Yeah,
would get
people would
so
not
much.
watch it.
So many people would watch it.
I don't think like Ted Nugent and those like
Like whatever though.
that could be a charity event that they did. Like the big drop for World Series of Poker. Like if they did like Magic meets whatever, and they had like a big prize tournament, and they did that, like, and had the celebrities for that kind of thing. I think that would be fine. Used to play Pokemon a long time ago. I don't play it anymore. Taylor Swift would be an easy 16-0 at the PT. All right.
Yeah, if you want a bigger, better game, this invite thing is a good idea. I think we're all pretty much agree on that, right?
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah, so like a few weeks ago I had a Facebook status and it was like, in regards to the Amaze invite thing, what would your dream celebrity draft pod be? And the responses were hilarious. And it was just sweet. What would your dream celebrity draft pod be? You and 7 other people. You're drafting at the feature match table under the lights, Pro Tour Hour of Devastation, except the 7 other people are celebrities.
I have no idea. Shaq. Shaq would
Yes!
be in there.
I love it.
Okay, so Shaq, Drake, Kirk Cousins, because I'd want to beat him. Jimmy Butler, because I'd want to beat the heck out of him.
That's the guy who ripped off his rearview mirror so he can't look back, right?
Yeah.
The Bulls guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's great.
I would probably want LSV, because I've got some work to do. I'm coming for you when you come back.
Yeah, that can be magic.
The combo killed me in Limited, man. We got some unfinished business.
What is the card called? Assemble the Alphas?
Assemble the Alphas and give no ground. Never forget it. I'm not gonna
Aaron
say
Carter knows how to beat Shaq. I love that.
Little John, because every time he opens his pack, he'll go, "Yeah,
yeah."
And he'll take a pack. Okay,
okay. Pack one. Pick one. All right.
Britney Spears. We'll get Britney in there. We need some mix, some toxic stuff going on. I got one more person because I'm obviously in the pod too. We'll throw Andrea in there. Andrea's a celebrity. Andrea Biaggi. Get in there. Biaggi, you're in there with me.
Should I do mine?
Yeah, go ahead. That is kind of fun. Michael Jackson. Yeah, that. Is there Dan? All right, I'm ready. You.
Dan Bilzerian would be awesome to be in the pod. I wonder if he's any good at magic.
Shaved head Brittany, not close.
All right, so me. Who else do I want in my dream celebrity draft pod? I think Owen would be good because we need a good Magic player. No, not Owen. Ben Stark, because he is like the limited the grouchy old man of limited. Like he's the one who's like, oh, all these celebrities are messing up like my pick orders or whatever. Like that's something Ben might tweet.
Sure.
So yeah, so we got Ben Stark, Daddy. We got Lindsay Lohan.
Okay.
I like the narrative that they could weave there, like coverage and stuff.
She was once on the New Yorker magazine.
Okay, I like that. What else do we got here? Got Marshawn Lynch, because who wouldn't think that is awesome? How awesome is that?
I'm only here because they.
So I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get banned from the DCI. What have we got, Ellen? We got some actors
Just
and
imagine
actresses.
Marshawn playing against Lil Jon.
All right, your turn. Let's run through somebody. All right. So, man, this part is hard. Some celebrities. We
Hey,
got,
you put it on me. You thought about this.
Steve Carell.
Steve
He would be
Carell.
funny.
He would.
I like that guy.
Dinner for Schmucks, great movie.
Zac Efron.
Okay.
I like.
So
this
you're gonna
too.
distract
These
Lindsay
aren't,
Lohan?
Yeah, these aren't necessarily my favorite celebrities.
Okay.
But they're just interesting enough. We got one or two more. George W. Bush.
Okay. And you got one last one.
One last one, and I want a Canadian. Just
Okay.
a random Canadian actor, maybe.
William Shatner.
William Shatner.
Tonight on Uvenwald Mysteries.
No, I want David Letterman as the 8th person in the pod.
Okay. The top 10! Oh my god, that's great. The Rock,
Drake.
Enzo Amari,
Seth Rogen. Is Seth Rogen Canadian?
Gabby,
Celine Dion.
GP Vegas, you never know.
Far, you open the door. Green is
Okay.
open. And my heart will go on.
Part of Kieran.
Yeah.
Alright. That was fun, actually.
That was sweet.
Oh, good time. Alright, so we're going to wrap it up. We're going to put on this sweet...
KerwinsGameStore.com is the online source for your gaming needs. We stock sealed products and card singles from Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and Weiss Schwartz. We also carry singles for HeroClix and Star Wars Destiny. With our free economy shipping on all orders and responsive customer service, you get more of the games you want hassle-free. Shop KerwinsGameStore.com today and see why we are the best place in gaming.